I'm so excited you made it to the new year because of the prospect it holds for us all. Welcome to Worthy by Design, brought to you by Advent Cable Network Nigeria, ACNNTV. On this show, we'll focus on the journey from girlhood to womanhood and everything in between. I am Ibere Chims. Today we shall be discussing something very important, our girls, the future. Now, according to UNICEF, 23 million girls and women are married of us children. 60% of the 10.5 million out-of-school children are girls. And 1 in 10 girls are absent from school during their menstrual periods. Tomorrow, they say, is now. And if that be the case, we must be deliberate about the investments we make in the lives of our girls, the opportunities we expose them to, and the challenges we shield them from, so we can raise the crop of women the future we'll be proud of. Join us as we dissect the challenges our girls are faced with daily, the solution, and your role in their future. Yes, you've got a role to play. Now with me in the studio is Nne Amaka Onyema. She's a legal practitioner and the convener of Embracing the Girl Child. It's so good to have you.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Thank you for joining us. Now we'll take off from your legal practitioner and you're a girl child advocate. How do you run with these two visions at the same time?
Okay, I think it's the girl child advocacy, it's a different thing from the legal practice. And I would say the legal practice, well, I went to school for that, and then the girl child advocacy, it was drawn out of passion.
Okay.
You know, I was in secondary school, I was in GSS 2 when a brand of sanitary products,
okay,
sanitary towel, visited my school and gathered all the girls and shared sanitary towels free of charge to us. So that memory, I grew up with that memory, and it inspired me to, you know, give back to the society what I have gained those years back. So I found myself gathering forfeiting my personal needs to buy sanitary products and visit schools, secondary schools, and give back to the girls. So that inspired the girl child advocacy.
Okay, so your campaigns, do they cover just distributing sanitary towels or?
No. Embracing the Girl Child is an initiative aimed at sensitizing the legal representation of victims of domestic violence, counseling, rehabilitation of these victims, and then educating the girls in secondary school level on various topics, career choices, sex education, puberty, menstrual hygiene, and the rest, and then the free distribution of sanitary towels. So it encompasses not just giving out, but teaching, enlightening the girls of issues surrounding menstruation.
So everything that will position her to succeed in
Anything
future,
that
basically.
molds a girl towards facing the challenges of menstruation.
That's amazing. You're doing a good job, by the way.
Thank you.
Now let's just talk about the challenges these girls face. You go to the field, to the rural schools, you know, those communities, and you see these girls firsthand.
Yes.
What are the challenges that you have seen that they're going through?
Okay. I would like to say that the challenges are not just restricted to girls in the rural area, also in the urban.
So let's cover the field, right?
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Menstruation is a natural process, and but you see, we notice that there are no talks surrounding menstruation. It's menstruation. The topic of menstruation. It feels like
it's sacred.
A taboo to speak about.
Yeah.
You find out that a lot of mothers and teachers shy away from discussing menstruation to the girls, thereby the girls growing up to not know what they are going to face. They are not prepared for menstruation, you know. And then when it comes, they are scared, they're worried, what should I do? And you see, because their mothers and teachers did not talk to them about this, so they're even worried, should I go and ask? Is it like we're not supposed to talk about it? So they can't come out on their own to ask about menstruation. Then not only girls face this other challenge, there are some religious and cultural practices or written laws surrounding menstruation or menstruating women, that women who are menstruating are termed unpure. Unpure. So there's a restriction of movement around women who are menstruating. Yes. So this is not just about just the girls, so women too. And there needs to be enlightenment, not just to only the women, to all the people, religious, cultural. People need to talk about menstruation. People need to be aware that menstruation is natural. It's not a taboo for a woman to be seeing her period, you know. So those are one of the challenges that women and girls face during menstruation. One other one to note is the cost of period protection. Pads, menstruation cups, tampons, they're quite expensive. I think the cheapest of them all is even the pad, but right now some people can't even afford the pad.
I know the price. We had a price hike recently.
Exactly. So it's really, then girls in school should not be worried about, they should be able to focus on learning instead of worried about the inability to afford period protection, even women that cannot afford it. So these are the challenges surrounding menstruation as a whole, yes.
Now, and you said these problems are not only peculiar to the rural girls.
Yes.
The urban girls also have these issues?
Yes.
Why so? We expect that their parents should be able to afford it, so.
Yeah, you know, apart from, like I mentioned earlier, apart from girls, even women, period poverty it's not only about the inability to afford the product. It's also poor knowledge around menstruation. Most of our mothers, even educated, most of our teachers don't know some things around menstruation, you know. There are things that surround menstruation, like your cycle, calculating your cycle. Some people don't know how to do it. Some people have been educated, they've been high there, but they don't know how to calculate. So how do you pass down the knowledge?
Okay, so that knowledge problem cuts across. Yes,
so, and there are different products of menstruation, the menstruation cup, the tampons, and so many others that a lot of people don't know about. Some people just know that it is just the pad. And then menstrual hygiene too is something we should also learn to teach, learn to educate ourselves and pass it down to the girls. So that's basically it.
Okay. Now, considering the grave importance of education and, you know, statistics of out-of-school children due to poverty, early marriage, period poverty, and other cultural factors, how can we mitigate the harsh reality of all of these things altogether?
I would say free and compulsory, not just free education, but compulsory education is a keystone to eliminate gender disparity for any nation. So I would say government should focus on free and compulsory education that will bring people to school. Young boys, young girls are made to go to school to learn. So education generally would help. And there are some other advantages to make school friendly for the girls. Make school safe for the girls.
When you mean safe, when you say safe, what does that mean?
You know, there are sometimes girls go to school and some things happen. Sexual abuse go undertone. We don't know how, even no matter how little, these are young girls, they don't. So why put the burden of girls, don't talk to, don't sit properly, don't try to seduce a man. We are talking of young girls, so they don't know. Allow them, give them a chance to, you know, enjoy their childhood and learn from these teachers. You can't tell them, put the burden on them to be careful on or how they talk or how they sit, or, you know, protect these girls from predators,
predators,
sexual
right.
predators. So keeping the school safe, then training our teachers to be gender sensitive. You
Okay.
know, boys and girls should be seen as, you know, very sensitive. It's a very sensitive this thing. And then involving girls in sports. There
Okay.
shouldn't be any gender discrimination when it
What would
comes
that,
to.
how can that help?
It encourages girls to come out.
Okay.
Yes, instead of being timid and, you know, it encourages girls, pursue your dreams. You can do this, you know. So encourage girls, not just, don't say, oh, this football is just for boys, therefore
Okay.
you go
Okay.
and, you know. So encourage them to
Pursue anything
pursue,
of
yeah,
interest.
find their passion, you know. So I think that's basically what should encourage girls or keep girls safe in school in our education system.
Okay, now we have the issue of early marriage.
Yes.
You know, I know there was a time we had so much noise about early marriage and all
Yes,
of
yes.
that. Now, how can we take care of this? Because the truth is, a girl gets married early, she waves bye-bye to education.
True.
So how can we take care of such an issue?
There are some countries, I would say now, that have made underage marriage an outlaw.
Okay.
Recently, I think Saudi Arabia has banned underage marriage. And I get questions sometimes as to at what age do we term underage? And I would say, personally, I think every reasonable man would say 18 years, right?
Okay.
So there are some countries that have actually banned underage marriage, but their years, what they mean by underage may not be what you understand by underage. So I think the government has a very big role to play in policy making when it comes to underage. Underage is 18 years to
Okay.
every reasonable man. So if a girl is less than 18 years and she's sent to her husband's house, it is underage marriage. And I think government should make policies to deter or to curb that this thing, because most of these girls, when they get married like that, their access to education is gone, you know. But I think there are also some ways, even if there are some underage marriage, there are also some ways I think you can bring girls, like informal education.
Right. Okay.
Informal education, you know, is just the education outside the school system.
Take it
outside the
home.
school
Take it to their
structure.
homes.
Exactly. So informal education can help these underage women, mothers, to encourage them to go to school, because their class sessions are closed.
Very
Sometimes
convenient.
under the tree, you know, the school teaching or learning sessions are flexible. So you can even go with your kids, learn with them, you know. And one of that thing that I think will encourage girls in school is to reduce the workload on girls at home. When that is reduced drastically, it helps the girls in school. It enhances their educational, it brings out their intellectual, not just manual work, their intellectual
Capacities.
it's increased. So it's good to reduce the workload on girls at home.
Mothers need to hear this. Reduce the workload on our girls. You know, because if she goes to school tired,
she can't
what's
learn.
the gain?
Yeah, there's no fresh. You know.
Right. So, mothers, you've heard, reduce the workload. I say it again, reduce the workload. So right after this break, we will discuss how the present situation can shape policy making. Please stay with us.
Why do we fall ill? Is it possible to stay without falling ill? Is God interested in our health? Can we get access to cheaper health anywhere? Do you want tips on how to stay healthy? Health Watch, a program to educate you viewers on how to take care of your bodies and deal with different health-related issues.
Welcome back to the show. We have been speaking with the amazing Nne Amaka Onyema. Remember, you can follow the discussion on our various social media handles on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Worthy by Design 20. So back to our conversation. I would want to take a data from the British Council. Now, they have said that educated women, they are more likely to raise educated and well-nourished children. Of what use is this data to policy making? Or let's even start from us as women. You know, I read somewhere, someone said, if we're going to fight for women having a better life, it's women who are going to lead the fight. Yes. It's not the government. So how does that piece of data help us as women in pursuing the rights of girls and women?
You know, data and statistics helps to direct progress towards a developmental goal.
Okay.
Now, gathering data is one thing. Now, using that data to work towards progress is another thing. Now, when we get data, we have the facts. We now know where the problem is, where the problem lies, the number of issues we should be solving. That will help us, either as women or the government, especially when it comes to policy building. That will help to push to know the right laws or the right policies or the right ways or the right decisions to make to solve such problems. So statistics and data is very important to both women, the government, when it comes to policy, NGOs, privates, individuals. Once we have information in one hand, and then with this information we should have a list of how to solve those problems, and gathering more data as you go will help to track progress. Wonderful. So you know where you're heading to, you know where you've been, you know how the progress, you know you're getting through experience of where to go and where not to go. So I think data and statistics of that will help to, you know, solve problems.
Okay, so looking at all of these problems now, we're saying to the women out there, if you have been able to raise a child, then you should be able to use this data to raise another person's child out there who cannot, you know, she can't find help. Yes. You should be able to, the government is supposed to, okay, rely on this. Women can build, they say women are nation builders. Yes. So if Nigeria is going to become better, then this data.
You know, they say if you educate a girl, a woman, you educate the nation. So when you bring up your girl with knowledge, you're not just keeping it, you're not just teaching her to keep it. You're teaching her to
raise other people.
Yeah, because she might get married and have her own kids and teach not just the girls, but even her boys. So it's a way of expanding knowledge.
Now, you had spoken about this issue of period poverty earlier. Yes. Is it possible to end it?
It's like saying, is it possible to end poverty? I won't say end it. I won't say eliminate poverty, but there's a way to alleviate it.
Okay.
So we're not working towards ending, which might be almost impossible. There are definitely people that are going to be in need. You know, we learn every day, knowledge, you know. So I would say it's to alleviate period poverty.
Make it easier for the girls.
Yeah, and there are ways for this to be done, you know, reduce the cost of period products. That would help. And then, you know, like I said earlier, period poverty does not only mean the inability to access, it also poor knowledge on. So the ways to reduce period poverty, like, for example, you buy brands that give back. There are some brands of period protection, there are some pads you buy in the market that one pad you buy, a percentage of that sale goes back to the society, goes back into donating more pads for the less privileged. So you and I can do that from the comfort of our home. Just buy products that the brands give back.
So how do we know those brands? Somebody is wondering. I would love to do that. So how do I know those brands?
So I'll wait for any brand to pay me. There are some brands, but I don't intend to list them. So when they come and pay me, I can, you know, market and sell and speak about it.
So, but the brand should be out there. Letting people know that, oh, any product you buy from us, we are giving back.
There are some there are some brands that show on their social media how they give back
Okay.
to the how they donate.
So we should
take notes. Look out for those,
So brands, we're looking out for you.
Yes.
Make sure you're one of them.
Yes.
Okay, we're rounding up. Now, in tackling all of these challenges we have mentioned about the girl child, how far have we come? How have we fared?
Fortunately, in recent times, there have been a lot of talks about underage marriage, menstrual hygiene, sexual violence. So there's a lot of awareness surrounding, and the government too have also played a major role by bringing up policies to eliminate these issues. There's like the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act of 2015 was signed into law in 2015, and then the Sexual Harassment of Students in Tertiary Institution Bill, that was in 2019, following the embassy the release of that, and then also the Child Rights Act. So these are policies that help to curb these issues: underage marriage, sexual abuse, So the government are also playing a role in policy making towards bringing solutions to these issues.
So that means we're making progress.
We
can do better.
Yes, we can do better. We can do better.
Now we hear them say there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes.
So there's probably light.
There is light.
Okay, now what should we be looking out in the future concerning our girls? What should we be looking out for?
It's one thing to plant and it's one thing to harvest.
Okay.
You can't not plant and expect to harvest. We need to plant now. We need to be consistent in watering these plants. So bring to our girls, teach our girls, speak about menstruation to our girls, help them to come out freely to discuss and ask questions. So keep watering this, educate yourself, learn about issues surrounding menstruation and all that. Teach, pass the knowledge, talk about it, sign petitions,
Sign petitions. Let me hear a little about that.
Sign petitions. There are some petitions that go around that help to, maybe if you see a petition that helps to reduce the cost of sanitary towels. Like in Nigeria, for example, the sanitary towels are exempted from tax.
Okay, that's amazing.
But that's not enough if we want a
far-reaching result
in the future. So it's not enough. Sanitary towels should be put at a very low cost, very low cost, so both the rich and the poor can afford it. So if we plant now, water it, the future is bright. The future is green.
And what the future is green, I love that.
Yeah.
And what are your parting words to our girls out there who are listening to the amazing Amaka?
Okay, to the girls, I would say, don't be afraid to come out and ask questions. Be comfortable, speak to your mothers, ask questions to your teachers that you feel comfortable with. Go to your teachers and counselors. They have guidance and counselors in school. Go and ask questions. Educate yourself. Go online, ask questions online. You get results. You see people who are willing to answer questions. You see some questions are already answered. So learn, talk about it, ask questions, be comfortable to talk about it with other girls, So that's, I think with that, gradually, it will
the knowledge will spread.
The knowledge will spread, so.
Thank you so much. With that, the knowledge will spread, but you must continue learning and asking questions. Twinkle, twinkle, little girl, we no longer wonder what you are, for in your eyes, we see a rising champion, technology savvy, health aware, and an exceptional entrepreneur. This is the future of our girls. So let us all join in this campaign and make this the new reality. Support a girl, build the future. We have been speaking with the amazing Nnem Amaka Onyema. Thank you so much for joining
Thank you for
us.
having me. Thank you.
Right. This is where we draw the curtain on today's edition of the show. Thank you for making our time to be with us. So it's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed it. Tune in again next week, same time, same station, for another interesting edition. Tell every girl that she is worthy by design. I am Iberi.